It all started one day when I was just a sophomore in high school. I was short, I was right in full puberty, and I was getting D's for the first time in my life, and I was getting in trouble all over in school. And the one class I liked was geometry. My geometry teacher said, I want to see you immediately after school. Oh, now I'm even in trouble there. I slithered into the room, and she said, I want you to teach the class tomorrow. I have to be gone. This was this was actually a Catholic school, and they didn't have access to substitute teachers. So she asked me to do it. And I realized, I don't have a clue how to do this. So I said, sure! And I got to call on whoever I wanted in the class. It was great fun. And that's how I started accidentally becoming a math expert. Now, it went on hiatus for a long time because I went to college and I got a degree in teaching English. And I didn't even use that for 35 years. And then I started teaching part-time at a charter school. And one day, the principal came to me and she said, I would like you to teach an advanced math class for the 8th graders. And I thought, I never took a single math class in college. Sure! I started every class with a problem, but not a math problem. It was a man walks into a bar and asks for a glass of water. And the bartender picks up a gun, points it at him. The man says, thank you, and leaves. Now, this is a classic lateral thinking problem. And what would happen is the kids would ask me, try to figure out the whole story of what had happened. So they would ask me all kinds of questions. I would ask yes or no to it. And they loved it. It was like opening up to thinking outside the box and really having a lot of fun with it. They would actually come to class early. And if they all came to class early, I would start the class early for them and start with a problem. It was great. The next year, the principal said, what I want you to do this year is to work individually with kids doing standardized tests, preparing, because that's where we make our best money from the state. And I thought, I don't know anything about standardized tests. Sure! It all worked out great until one day I'm working with this little girl, Betty, little 5th grade girl, and this is almost my Waterloo because she is like, I won't even look at that problem. Yes. What do I do? I felt stuck. And I flashed on one of my heroes, Kelvin. Kelvin and Hobbes. Many of you know him. He's a little guy with a huge imagination and a little stuffed tiger that comes alive and he talks to. So in this cartoon that I flashed on, he's talking with Kelvin, he's talking with Hobbes, and he says, you know, this whole thing about mathematics, it's not a science, it's a religion. And Hobbes says, really, a religion, you say? And Kelvin says, yeah, it's like it's full of miracles, and it's like you take this number, and then this number, and you add them together, and magically it turns into another number. This math book is full of things that you just have to accept on faith. I tell you, it's a religion. Hobbes says, and in the public schools, too. You ought to get a lawyer. Kelvin says, yeah, as a math atheist, I should be exempt from this. Well, Betty had the same thought process and the same beliefs that Kelvin did. She was not going to accept this at all. So I decided I had to go to what was acceptable to hers. And I went down to the ones. That which she could accept. We played with the ones, then we played with the twos, then we played with all the patterns in the ones and twos. And after a while, the 3s and 4s and some other numbers started showing up. And I walked in the next day to work with a different student. And Betty's waving this paper at me, and she says, I'm using it for all my problems. And this is the paper we had scribbled on the day before. And I went, wow, she has totally changed her attitude. She's a believer now. So there's something really special about this. So I started redoing the sheet. I turned it into a table and we worked with different kids and then redid it and kept rebuilding and rebuilding. And I eventually created the whole Easy Times table, which turned into a book. And then I went from there and I created a Right Brain Math DVD about looking at the bigger picture. And a picture is worth 1,000 words. A little video is worth 10,000. And I am now Mr. Numbers on YouTube with almost 100,000 views already in a short period of time. And recently a company came to me and they want to market my videos to every school in the country. Whoa. So I want to take you back to the man walking in the bar and asking for the glass of water. The bartender notices that the guy has the hiccups and realizes he's not thirsty. He wants a cure for the hiccups. So he has an inspiration. He grabs his big rifle, shotgun, underneath the bar, points it at the guy. The guy goes, whoa! Realizes his hiccups are cured, and what the bartender had done, says, thank you, and walks back out. Now, feel the satisfaction of seeing the bigger story, the full picture. That's the same satisfaction that kids get when they realize that they've been playing with these patterns and puzzles and with numbers, and they've just created a times table. And they ask where the hard part is, and it isn't there. It's all easy for them, and it's very satisfying for them. It really, right brain thinking can create magic. In magic, this is how I accidentally became a math expert.